I hope you all can see me. Can everyone see me?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So thank you for inviting me for this occasion and the webinar, online webinar, the second webinar of yours. And it's a great pleasure for having me to give a motivational speech for our youth, especially, right? And currently, we all know that this is not a bit. I mean, this is the best time ever the youth can provide a legacy, leave a legacy when it comes to their, what do you call, their passions, their interest, and whatever they are doing currently right now. I mean, the world is developing at a very rapid rate. You all know that, right? And it's not like 80s, 90s, or initial years of 2000s also, right? I mean, even though the corona hit the entire world in a very rough way, still the world is moving on, right? So we also have to move on, right? We have to adapt, because that is one of the best qualities humans have, right? The capability of adapting faster, right? So this topic, so this seminar is going to be, I'm not going to share any boring PowerPoint slides. That's not my way, right? So this seminar is going to be basically 1 hour of me giving the speech, and the next hour would be the question and answer session, right? So be you, be different, and leave a legacy, right? One thing I would like to tell you all is during my teaching sessions, also during my motivational speech sessions also, I want you guys also to interact, right? This is not going to be a one-way talk, right? When I will be asking questions in the middle also, right? I'll be making you all more active, and I hope you all would also respond whenever I ask any questions, right? So now the thing is, this topic I chose is due to many reasons, actually, right? I have come across many youth and a lot of students from my institute and from the 5am club as well. And the common question or the common problem these youth, or what, not only youth, many people, right? What they have is they haven't really identified themselves first, and they haven't understood who they are, and they don't know what to do with their lives. They're quite helpless, to be honest, right? So be you, be different, and leave a legacy. Can someone give me an answer, a summary of this topic? What will I be talking about this topic? Can someone give me a response? Be you, be different, and leave a legacy. Yes. Should I point out the names, or someone will be willing volunteer? Okay, what about
Dr. Abdul Salam?
Yes.
Yeah. Should I raise the hand, or how's
No,
that?
no. You can
That's okay.
unmute yourself. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you can hear me, right, Nabil?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to say mainly you'll be focusing, I think, don't think about others, the criticism, the opinion of other people, because end of the day, you are the man here. You have to do what you like. It's in a good way. So if you start worrying, your talents will not come out. So the more worry you have, more depressed, nothing will come out. Basically, you'll be worrying. The whole system will get worried. So basically, you are an example. You are live right now front. You are a good example for us as a doctor. How much you are taking the challenge, right? Medical side and the other field. So you will be providing the same example, I guess, for us also. Don't be in that small area circle. Expand yourself, the skills, the capabilities you have. Try to test and make it out. Put it out.
Right. Awesome. Great. Nice. I mean, that was the summary, I would say. Best. Right. So be you, be different, and leave a legacy. Right. So what does it mean? Now we all know that God has given us talents and skills. Right. It's a shame that we don't use to our maximum potential. Right. I mean, how many guys, how many people have you all seen? We all just live 50, 60, 70 years, and then people just die. And do we even talk about them? Do we even talk about them after 1 month? Okay, 1 month we will be talking some good things about them, and then we will just forget them, right? But so I would say there are two types of people. One set of people is they will just live and they will die and no one will be talking about them. The other set of people is they will do something to the society, right? They will give their maximum during whatever years they have been living in their life, right? But if it's 40, 50 or 60, the first question we have to ask is, did they care about what other people thought about them? No, right? That is the first hurdle our youth especially should take out, right? I mean, they have immense potential, right? Just because the society shuns them down, or just because other people don't like what they are doing, they tell to themselves that they are not good enough, right? So what I'm trying to say here is identify yourself first, right? And then identify your skills and talents. What are your interests? And with that, what can you do to yourself first for your future, and then for the family and the society, right? I mean, legacy is that. What kind of legacy will you leave? Is it a good legacy or a bad legacy, or a normal legacy? No one will be even talking about you. Bad legacy means you do some corrupt things to then people, and you do bad evil deeds and all, and people will be saying that once you die, good that he passed away, with him we couldn't live properly and all, right? That is a bad legacy. Good legacy is what? They will say positive things about you once you die, even after 10, 20, 30 years, right? Even after 40, 50, 60, 70 years. The best example is Prophet Muhammad, right? I mean, he and his Sahabas will be spoken till this world ends, right? That is the positive legacy, good things, right? So we all have the potential to leave a positive legacy, right? Definitely, we all have the potential, right? So before I go to this talk, I don't want to give any other examples. I'll talk about myself first, right? I would say from grade 1 till grade 8, I was very active student, right? I was giving speeches, I was taking part in athletic events, right? And I was good at studies as well, right? I was basically an all-rounder, right? But when I started to go to upper grades like grade 9, 10, 11, 12, and recently till I passed the medical school, I became, naturally I'm an introvert. Naturally, I'm an introvert. Okay. But even though I was an introvert, when it comes to opportunities, I used to take it wholeheartedly. I do it very well till grade 8. Till grade 8. But then from grade 8 till I finished medical school, I basically didn't use whatever talents God has given me. One main reason was that I was very scared what the society would think. I mean, I'm not going to do any bad thing, basically. Right? I was good at speeches. I was good at giving public speaking. I was good at public speaking events. Right? Then I used to take part in athletic events. Right? But for some reason, I took a back off, and then I was like, my introvert nature got the better hand of it, I would say. Right? So I was like very shy from grade 8 till the medical school days finished, and I was completely a nerd at that time, during that period, right? I was studying, and I used to go out, but I won't be doing these kind of events those days, right? And so basically I was like, but one thing I was sure, I always had this this idea of doing something great in this world. I don't know how I will be doing that. I don't know what it is, but I always had this idea, and I always used to think, how can I do something to this world, right? How can I leave a positive legacy, right? With that good intention, right? But I didn't know how, right? Then I completely wasted my skills and talents and all the interests and passions I had during those medical school days and during the high grades of my school, and I was concentrating on my study, and I was not a very active person, to be honest, right? I was a very skinny guy also, introvert, skinny guy, and people, I mean, to be honest, I didn't have lot of friends during those days, right? So but I also had this burning desire. I needed to do something. I didn't know how to come out of it, right? I didn't have anyone to help me out. So then you might be asking this question: how did I come back to my old days again? How did I start being active? How did I start being the motivational speaker I always wanted to be? How did I started building these institutes and startups, and how did I become more multi-talented again, right? So what happened is during the medical school days and after the medical school days, the final 2-3 years, I started facing a lot of problems in life, a lot of obstacles. You tell me at this 27 years of age, I would give you all the things you can mention in this life, which is bad and problematic situations. I would have come across that. Right? I went through failure. I went through what do you call, people taking me for granted, then people neglecting me, rejecting me, then people looting off money from me. Then I'm not scared to tell all this stuff, because we are all people, right? Just because I'm a doctor doesn't mean that I'm completely I mean, I just was sailing through and nothing happened to me and I was like all superb guy. No. Right? I was just an ordinary person, still an ordinary person trying to do something to the society, right? But at that time, my mindset was different, right? So what actually changed was the mindset. Okay, so when it came to the story of mine, the past 2-3 years, I went through all this stuff, right? All these problems, right? Then I even got admitted to the hospital twice, right? I got very skinny. I got admitted due to dengue, then due to colon infection. All these because of my bad lifestyle. All these because of not taking my life fully into my hands, taking control of my life, right? Doubting myself, self-doubt, right? What would other people think, right? I couldn't even eat properly in a gathering. That is how I was very alert in the society. Like, what would they think about me when I eat and all. That consciousness is there, right? That was at its peak in the last 2-3 years, right? Then I told myself, I mean, even though I'm a doctor and I should be an example to the others, right? I'm not living up to my potential, right? I have the knowledge and stuff, right? That's a different story, right? And I also knew that I had the capability of doing great things. I also knew that I had the potential, I had the skill and talents, but somewhere something went wrong between grade 8 to medical school days, final year of medical school days, right? So maybe due to the environment, maybe due to friends, right? Maybe due to the way I thought, right? So there could be many reasons, but I didn't want to find the reason for that. I just wanted to come out of it. I wanted to make a way out of it, right? Then can you ask me this question? How did I come out of it? Can someone give me an answer for that? Can someone give me an answer for that? What do you think made me come out of it and be the person who I am today?
Facing the problem.
What? Sorry?
Facing the problems.
Facing the problems. Okay. What do you mean by that? Like being confident in facing problems?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I would say that is one of the reasons. So, but I would say it was a change in the mindset. It wasn't a change in the mindset. I was at that time I was finding answers for my questions. I went to Google, I went to YouTube, watched videos, and then I came to a conclusion that none of the people in this world have become successful and have become famous or whatever by just doing ordinary things, right? By just complaining about things, right? By being scared of other people's opinions, right? I would say each and every person in this world who became successful, who did something great to the society, they went through hardships. They knew they had the potential, but due to hardships and due to self-doubt, at a particular period of time, they were very down, right? People didn't believe in that person, but that person knew and told to himself that if I have to come out of this rut, if I have to come out of this hole, I need to make a decision first, right? First of all, you have to decide, right? Okay, this is enough. Enough is enough. I need to do something to the society. I need to be myself. I need to do great things. That decision should be in a split second. And then from that day onwards, you have to identify your strength, skills, and then make a solid plan. These are the things. I mean, I'm going to give you a lot of examples, right? so many people who went through hardships and how they won life, right? They decided to themselves that they are going to change. No one gave them a motivational speech, or no one pushed them. They themselves told that this is enough. I am deciding today that I'm going to change. Enough of this mediocre life, right? Enough of self-doubting, enough of these problems. With these problems and hardships, they got the power, and they got immense power to do great things. If they had not gone through those hardships, I would say, if they had not gone through those hardships, they would not become the person they are today, or they were today, or they were yesterday, right? I mean, if a person complains and says that I'm facing these problems, that and this, and I can't do anything, then that person really haven't understood life, right? I mean, this life is anyway a hardship. You know that it is full of tests, right? But where does the extraordinary person be? He knows, he understands that this life is a hardship, and you get several tests, but he doesn't complain. He doesn't complain around. Successful people don't complain around, right? They realize the nature of this world, right? So they realize they have to do something to this world with their skills and talents, right? So you have to believe, you have to make that decision today itself. From this seminar onwards, end of this seminar, today you have to decide that enough is enough. I'm going to change today. I'm going to stop this mediocre life, right? You are greater than you think, and you have to be proud about yourself, right? You don't just because you don't have a good looking face, or just because you don't have a good physique, or just because you think you don't have, but you don't know there are a lot of ways to get those back, right? For example, I'll come back to my fitness journey also, right? So now I would say I faced all those hardships, and I came to this position right now, and I will be doing all this more and more greater stuff in the future as well, hopefully with God's grace, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to get an example, take me first. Being a doctor, right? Being a medical student, being a nerd, and all those stuff, and but I also had to go through all the hardships you name. I faced through them, right? But I came through that, right? That's because I decided, right? I was a skinny guy those days, but now I'm giving people asking me how to gain weight, how to gain the muscles, how to get six packs, and all those stuff, right? I'll talk about the fitness journey also, right? In the coming minutes. So right now, what I want to say is, first of all, you have to decide yourself. Enough is enough of this mediocre life, right? Okay. Other thing. Now let's say, okay, you decided to change your life, right? When you decide to change your life and you want to do whatever you want to do in life, don't forget about three important things, right? First is your health. Your health. And you are better write down some of the important things. I will say, better have a pen and a book or some paper to write it down, right? So mind, look after your mind first, your mental health, right? Then your body, right? Three things you have to remember in your life, right? These three things should be your compass, I would say, right? The first one is your mind. Second one is your body. Third one is what? Who can say the third one? Who can say the third one? Who can say the third one? Yeah, who can say the third one? Nabil?
Is it the soul?
Yeah, I told, so you can say mind and soul. You can take mind and soul together, right? Okay. So body is second. Third is what? Nabil? Musa? Ibrahim? Third is the society. You have to think about the society, right? You look after yourself, look after the society, right? Three things. So look aftering yourself comes in 2 points, right? Your mind, soul, and body, right? The third one is looking after the society, right? These three things should be your compass when it comes to doing whatever you're doing in your life, right? Okay, let me elaborate these points now, right? So what do you think about mind and soul? Currently, and I'll tell you one thing, I forgot to tell you another important thing. I went through clinical depression as well. Right, for the last 2-3 years, previous 2-3 years, I went through clinical depression because of basically self-doubting myself, and so many problems of my that came across my life. Because of all those stuff, I became clinically depressed. I didn't have anyone trustworthy to talk basically. Do you know, in medical conditions, after heart attack and all those stroke conditions, the third common disease in this world is clinical depression. Clinical depression is a severe problem. Don't take it lightly. Okay, due to the depression, many people are suiciding. All you know that, right? Suicide rates are going damn high in Sri Lanka also, right? Commonly in the youth age, right? So clinical depression, identify the condition first. What are the conditions of clinical depression? You feel lethargic, very tired. You don't feel like doing things you always wanted to do. Like you lose interest in life. You lose interest in passions. You lose interest in whatever you did before that made you happy. Now you're not doing those, right? You eat less. You sleep more, right? Then in the night conditions, you wake up and think a lot. Then you wake up even if you sleep late night, you wake up very late, right? So you always sleep, right? So you lose control of your life. These are some of the signs of depression. I had most of them, right? So that why is that? Because of the pressure. I didn't have anyone to talk to, right? I mean, not only me, I would say out of every 4 people you come across in your life, 2 to 3 people will be facing depression at that moment of life. Everyone would have faced depression at least once in their lifetime. You can't say no with that. That is a lie. If someone says that they haven't faced depression after 40-50 years of living in this world, that is a lie. Right? Everyone will come across depression at one particular point of life. You have to identify that self, right? You have to identify it first, and you have to come out of it soon as possible, right? Because depression is a really problematic situation, man. Guys, I mean, I'm telling you, that will affect you also, that will affect the people around you also. Okay, so mind and soul comes under, you have to keep your mental clarity and happiness, right? How do you do that? If you feel down and if you feel bad, have one person at least where you can keep trust and tell those things to that person. Because depression, what is the what is the best treatment of depression? Speech therapy. You have to talk to people, right? So I mean, these things are also coming under this topic. Be different and leave a legacy, right? Because people have to be different now. People can't be like the normal people, right? I mean, if they face depression and if they just be like that without telling to people, I mean, then how can they live a extraordinary life? How can they live a happy life? How can they how can they leave a legacy, right? How can they do great things, right? If you don't have happiness in your life, mental happiness, I mean, there is no life basically, right? So always look after your mind and soul, and be sure and make sure that you have some person, at least one person you can trust to talk to, right? So always keep in your mind that mental happiness is one of my priorities in life, right? Then comes the body. As a doctor, I would say majority of the diseases can be prevented. You know that, right? Heart attacks, strokes, cholesterol levels, sugar levels, cancers. These are the top 5 killers. No? You know that, right? So what can you do to prevent these kind of conditions? Lifestyle modifications. I mean, when you go to a doctor and ask what do I do, doctor, to prevent all these conditions, he would say first take lifestyle modification the first priority, right? I mean, it's your body, man. It's not someone else's body. If you're eating harmful stuff, if you're drinking harmful drinks, and if you're not caring about your health, you're selfish, to be honest. Right? You're selfish to yourself, to be honest. Right? No one is going to take care of your body, no man. Right? You have to take care of yourself first. Right? I mean, if you're not, that shows a lot about your personality. Right? If you're not taking care of your health, that tells a lot about your personality. Right? So cancers can be prevented by physical exercises, eating healthy foods, vegetables, fruits, and all those healthy stuff, green stuff, right? Then heart attacks, cholesterol also can be reduced. Diabetes also can be reduced. You are telling Now people are dying at 30s and 40s due to heart attack, all due to belly fat. You see those stubborn fat, right? This dirty fat hanging around your waist, right? I mean, I'm telling you, I'm like giving you an advice. If you don't, if you're not doing exercises and if you're not, if you're eating sugary stuff and always white rice and bread and all the stuff, right? Wheat stuff and short eats and whatnot, oily stuff, then KFC burgers and all those things. If that is your common food every month, then I will guarantee you, I'm not lying or anything. Once you hit 30s and 40s, you will start seeing symptoms. Okay, so take your health very seriously. Okay, I mean, as a doctor, that is my duty to tell you all, right? I mean, if you can't take care of yourself, man, I mean, why are we even living this, right? If you want to leave a legacy, if you want to do great things, your health condition should be good, your mental happiness should be there, right? So these two things, never forget. Okay, then the third one I told you is the society. You have to take care of the society. I mean, don't be selfish, don't always think about yourself, right? I mean, just because I say that you have to do something to society, now don't go out and start giving speeches and going and giving a lot of money and all this stuff. No, start small, right? I mean, if you can now just if you go out and see people selling fruits and vegetables and all those stuff, those people are quite poor people, to be honest, right? They are stuck with poverty and all, right? They are very middle class or low middle class, I would say, right? So then if you can at least go and smile at them, talk to them, right? Or if you can at least buy something, even if you don't want, buy something from them, because from that only they are living, basically, right? Those are some of the small things you can do to do something in society to make you feel good, right? I would say the ultimate success is not name, fame, money, or anything, right? All these things will go, right? What you leave is the legacy for the what you did to the society, basically, right? How many people would turn up at your funeral? How many people would come and talk good about you at your funeral? That is the legacy, right? I mean, you don't have to do it in a public way. You can do it silently also, right? If you don't want to show to others, do it silently, right? But you do it for yourself, basically, right? For yourself and for the society. That will make you good, right? Happiness and fulfillment will come from helping people, right? That is the best way you can get happiness and satisfaction. Money will come and go. You will earn money and money will keep coming and money will keep going, right? Fame will be there. Fame will be going, right? Then respect, all those things, that is what we are working for. And I'm not saying don't work for money. Yeah? Money, you should have money to survive also. No? Right? You should definitely think big also. Huh? I'm not saying think small, think big, right? You have to definitely earn a lot of money to do. I mean, if you want to do great things to society, you should definitely be a millionaire also. I'm not saying millionaire, okay, you have to have some sort of money, right? I always think big, right? I always think big, right? I don't doubt myself, right? If God can give everything, why should we doubt ourselves, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, even though you think big, even if the name comes, even if the fame comes, those are all additional stuff, additional bonuses you get, but don't get carried away with those stuff, right? Because once you die, what will be left? Your legacy, right? The name, right? Basically the name, right? So I would say the best happiness, the fulfillment you can get is by being a benefit to the society, right? Always think these things when you do anything in life, right? Mind, body, society. These three things should be there. Okay. Then now one example I would say, when it comes to doubting yourself, or when it comes to when problems come in your life, I'll be honest with you, I have come across so many people, so many children who lost their parents at the same year. They are orphans now, right? But mashallah, they are doing very good now. I mean, just imagine losing your parents, both the parents in the same year. Okay, that is like the worst you can ever think of. But how did they come out of it? They had people to help them, basically, right? And they decided that, okay, fine, Just because I went through this hardship doesn't mean that this is the full stop for it. No, right? I'm going to make a name for myself. I'm going to do great things. Right? You have to be self-confident, right? Okay. Then, and I also said, just because hardships came doesn't mean that you have to lose focus and confidence, right? Best example I can give you is an Indian athlete. I can't remember the name, Padma Shri, I guess I'm correct. So she won the Paralympics. What happened to her was she had an infection in her leg, right? And the doctors had to cut the leg off, right? But then she did not tell to herself that she will be useless. She cannot do anything with life now. The doctor said she cannot run now. She cannot do anything with life. She has to be bed rested and a wheelchair and all the stuff, right? Did she let others decide her fate? No. See the example. She came to the Paralympics and she won a gold medal, right? I mean, she changed her destiny. She did not let the environment, the conditions decide on her fate. She didn't complain like others. We keep complaining, right? So that is one example I give you for success story, right? Okay. Now the other thing is our youth, basically, especially, they are very talented, to be honest, and they have the eagerness and this burning desire to do some great things in life. But I would say they don't have patience. Nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy. Let me explain the fitness journey of mine, right? I was a very skinny guy, I told you, till 25, right? Then for the last 1.5 years, 2 years only, I got into this fitness journey, right? I was a very skinny guy. When I went to the gym, are you guys there with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, right, okay. So now when I went to the gym, I was very shy. In addition to the introvert nature and skinny nature, but still I went to the gym. I decided to go, right? And then when I went there, when I saw those buff dudes and big dudes, I got really scared. Okay. Then, but still I was persistent. I was consistent, right? I mean, you're telling me fitness journey will explain you everything in life, basically. The consistency, the commitment, the hard work. It's not easy to lift weights. Bodybuilding is difficult, right? I mean, that taught me a lot about life. The confidence came, right? I started gaining weight. I got people started asking me for tips and how to gain weight and all, right? I mean, if I have to tell you how I went to the gym and how I was very focused on my diet, people would call me crazy, man, seriously, right? I mean, during rainy days also, during heat or during rainy days or during windy conditions, whatever, no excuses. I didn't give any excuses from last year, even if it was Corona. When the gyms were closed, I used to do workouts at home also. For the last 1.5 years, I didn't miss a single day at my workouts. Every day I did, every day basically, right? Even if it was raining heavily, I used to go out and go to the gym, right? What does it show here? The commitment, the hard work, the consistency, the burning desire, right? You should have a burning desire, man. If you want to do something in life, nothing will come easy. Nothing will come easy at all, man. If you want to do something, you have to work hard and have patience, be committed, and have to be consistent. Some days you won't feel like doing those things, but you have to ask your big why. You have to question yourself, why am I doing this? That why should actually make you go forward always, right? When you in the middle also, sometimes in the last mid of year when the Corona struck, I felt I lost a bit enthusiasm. But then I asked during those times, what will make you carry on is your big why, the bigger why, right? Why am I doing this? To better myself first, for a greater future, and for the other people as well, right? So youth, always remember, have patience. It doesn't come overnight at all. To build my muscles and all these things, it didn't come within one day, right? It took me 1.5 years, basically, right? So have patience, be committed, and be confident. Have the courage to do anything. Always have the courage. Okay. If anyone says something to you saying that you can't do anything like that, just forget them. Cut them off. I would say, basically, cut them off. don't keep them in your friendship circle, right? Because they are not good, not in a bad way, cutting them off. Just slowly may limit the time you hang around with them, right? Because those kind of negative people will have a negative, what do you call, negative impact in your life, right? If someone says you can't do that, that means he has not done it, that thing. That's why he is putting his self-doubt to you, right? Don't let other people dictate on your life, man. Don't let other people dictate on your decisions also. Whatever careers you want to do, whatever thing you want to do in life, if you are not harming any person and if you are not harming yourself, then that is good for you. I mean, that is one of the worst mindset you can have, especially in the Asian mindset, right? Whenever we do things, you always think about yourself, right? I mean, what would other people think? What would he say? What would he think about me? I mean, will I look stupid? I mean, those are the questions that can arise, right? Will I be looked awkward? I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you're not doing any harm to the other person, or the society, and if you're not harming yourself, and if that thing is good for you, and if that thing is making you happy, just go on full, right? Go on fully, right? Never doubt, because God is there with you, one thing, and have the confidence, courage, right? Best example I would say is now elephant and the lion in the jungle. Who is the king in the jungle? Who is the king? I mean, as a metaphorical way also, I'm asking this question. Who is the king basically? Is the elephant or the lion is the king? Guys, who is the king in the jungle? Obviously the lion. I mean, that's how we say, no? So lion, why? Lion is a small animal compared to the elephant, right? Lion is a small animal compared to the elephant. But what makes him the looked up to animal, right? Lion, because of the courage, right? When a lion sees the elephant, he will think, this is the next meal for me. When the elephant sees the lion, elephant will, slowly get away from the lion, right? That is all comes the mindset here, the courage mindset, not the size. Size doesn't matter here. So then the self-doubt should come out of your life. You have to completely take out of your life, right? So that is one example, okay? Then, now when it comes to problems in life, when problem comes in your life, always be courage. I mean, come on, whatever it is, I'll face it. That is how the mindset you should be, right? If you always dwell upon your problems and all these things, how can you move on? Problems will come. When you do new things, problems will come. You can't run away from problems, then you're a coward, right? So whenever problems come, two things remember, right? Whatever comes, okay, let's face it. That's it. Then the second thing, always remember, whatever the problem comes, I will always make sure that I will do something in the society that will make me happy. Those are the two things you have to keep remembering when problems arise, right? Okay. Then the other example, I would say, when it comes to this mental happiness, right? I'm going to give an example here, right? There was a lawyer, I would say, there was a person in the United States. He was invited to be the one of the lawyers in the White House. Okay. In the White House, so we all work for what? Basically, humans have this tendency of becoming famous, proud, earning a lot of money, wealth, and all those stuff. No, that is all fine, no problem, no problem with that. Okay, you can have fame, you can have name, you can have money, but all for the good cause. With your fame, do something to the society. With your name, do something to society. With your money, do something to society. With your wealth, do something to society. Right? What I'm going to say right now here is, now we are all working for that. Now, this person in the United States, he was called to the White House, and he was given a luxurious post in the White House near the president. And his name is Ian, actually. So people said, come on, take that position, go, you will get name, fame, money, and everything. He went there, and he didn't even stay in that White House in that position for 1 month. He came out of it. He came out of the job. What would you think is the reason he came out of that job? He got money, he got name, he got famous and everything in the White House. What made him come out of it? Basically, yeah. Can someone give me an answer for that? What made him come out of that post, that job, that superb post? What do you think, guys? What do you think, guys? No answer. Hajara, no answer. Nabil, Ibrahim.
To do something for the society.
I would say the answer is the mental happiness. He was not satisfied with his job. He was not happy in what he was doing. Good. The answer I got was he was not satisfied. Yeah, he was not happy with his job. And just because he got name, fame, and everything, that doesn't mean that he had to do that for the rest of his life. No, right? He was not happy with his life. He was not happy with that job. So you see, mental happiness is very important, right? Why are you doing that basically? If you are not happy with what you are doing, why are you even doing that? Even if you get name or anything, you will feel, bored after a few months and years after you go do that particular thing, right? So what he did was he came out of it and he started his own textile company, a business basically, right? And that brand is one of the biggest brands in this world. I can't remember the name, but that is one of the biggest brands in this world. Why did he come and do business? Because he loved doing business. He loved doing business. That was his nature, right? That made him happy. So that is why he came out of it, right? Okay. Guys, just give me a moment. So where did I stop? Nabil, where did I stop?
About the last, the happiness, the mental happiness.
Right.
He's not
good.
satisfied, the
So,
lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah, he came out of it and he started doing the business, right? So that is one of the examples of mental happiness, right? Then the second example I would give regarding this mental happiness and more related to the depression side. Okay, one student from India, basically, this is a story I heard. This guy, this kind of stories happen in Sri Lanka also, especially, right? We are always rating students when it comes to marks, right? This person didn't get marks, this much of marks, that and this. We compare students, we compare our children, right? That is the worst thing we can ever do to our children, right? So this student, he basically got 86 only. Out of 100, he got 86, but he couldn't get into whatever degree he wanted to do, he couldn't get it. But he got 86 marks. Okay. Then he called one of the leading doctors in India, and he's also one of the motivational speakers in India. So that doctor, he's a very famous guy, and this student was calling this doctor like multiple times at 12 p.m. Right? Then this doctor also got, he was also like feeling bad, like why a person would be calling 40 many times at 12 p.m. Sorry, not 12 p.m., 12 a.m. at night, right? At night. So then he quickly told the team to contact that student. Why is he calling? Then they connected the call to the doctor and the student, and they spoke. And you know what is the reason he wanted to call that doctor? That doctor is a very famous guy, and those students are looking up to that doctor. So that student actually called him to say this: I wanted to suicide. Getting 86 and he wanted to suicide. That is the level of depression people are going through, and they don't have anyone to talk to, basically. Right? That is the amount of pressure, the stress the society has put into children. If you don't get these marks, you're not good enough. Right? That has to come out of it. Right? So what I'm trying to say here is that boy didn't have a single person to talk to. Right? Even the family members. He had to call the doctor to say this situation. Right? Now he's doing fine. He did not do any harm to himself. But that is the level of what you call problem in respect to depression people are having. Right? So you have to always think about your mental happiness and what you are putting into your mind, and how you are letting other people let you decide on whatever things you want to do in life. You have to basically put a full stop for that. That you have to be confident, right? You know that you are good enough, and you should also have a trustworthy person to talk to whenever you get into depression. Right? I'm always emphasizing this fact is because this is a social taboo topic. People are not willing to talk about this, right? That's why in this topic I told you, be you and be different. If you find even if you find another person he's not feeling good and he's always feeling bad and hopeless, go and talk to him, help him out, right? If you identify those signs, go and help him out, right? So that is one thing you have to remember when it comes to navigating in your life, right? Okay. Then I also want to say, be grateful. Always be grateful with life. If you want more in your life, be grateful. What do you mean by grateful, Ibrahim? What do you mean by grateful and gratitude? Give me an example for that. I will give you examples also. What do you think of being grateful and gratitude? Can you give me an example? Can someone give me an example? Shafi? Is Ibn Shafi there? He's not there.
Being happy
Yeah.
with what you have.
Being happy with what you have, good. So be grateful and gratitude. Okay. Example, the best example I can say, being a doctor, there was a person who was filthy rich, very rich, right? And then what do you call, the doctors had to say he had a problem with his hand. He had sugar and all. So they had to cut that limb off, right? They had to cut the limb off now, right? Then that person said, I will give you all the wealth I have, even if it costs millions, I will give you that money. Please give me a new hand. That is what the patient said, right? That is what the patient said. Okay. Then, do you all have both the hands then? I'm going to ask you a question. Do you all have both the hands? Guys, come on.
Yes.
Of course. Now, if that person is willing to pay millions of dollars for that particular hand, then you're already rich, no man. We are already rich. We have both the hands, right? So be grateful, right? Don't complain, right? And another example I can give, another patient was in the ICU, and only thing that can make him live and survive is the oxygen, right? And a doctor asked him, what at this time, what are you grateful for? What do you want? What will make you happy? And the patient, innocent way, said, I'm happy because I'm getting oxygen right now. I mean, we are getting oxygen so freely, right? So just remember, being grateful for everything you have is the first way to get happiness, success, wealth, everything. Be grateful, God will give you more. Be grateful and show gratitude, right? And also the other thing is, don't complain. The best example I can say is about Steve Jobs. Who knows about Steve Jobs? Who is Steve Jobs? Who is Steve Jobs?
CEO
Any
of
idea?
Apple.
Yeah, CEO of Apple, right? Do you all know how they started that company basically? Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. These two guys were there basically. And one person, interviewer asked them, how did you all start this? They didn't have anything basically, right? He replied three things. They had an idea, and they had a space and a small warehouse or something, a small space, and they had each other, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. And these three things only they had, right? The idea, those two people, and the area. That's all. We complain, we keep complaining, saying that I don't have this, I don't have that, I want to start a business, I don't have this much of money, I'm not good enough, that and this. Did they complain? No. They didn't have much money. They only had the idea. They had each other's companionship, and they had the particular room. That's it. And they started. And that is how your mindset should be, man. Right? Start with whatever you can, whatever in your life. Right? Okay. Then, so you always have to remember this. What are the three compasses I told? What are the 3 points you have to remember? What are the 3 points you have to remember when it comes to life? Come on, guys. Come on, be active. I know you all had the lunch now.
Body,
don't be sleepy.
Mind, and society.
Mind and society. Good, very good. So now when it comes to the uniqueness of ourselves, basically, being a medical doctor and science and all, we know that, and you all also know that, basically, our fingerprints are different. Our fingerprints are different. Does anyone have the same fingerprints? Who have the same fingerprints? Do you all agree that we all have different fingerprints? Right? So if we are unique in that way, everyone are unique basically. 7 billion people are unique. All are different fingerprints. right? So you have to identify yourself first, that you're unique, you have special skills and talents, right? So don't let other person tell that you are not good enough. Never allow that, right? Do your stuff, be confident, have the courage, and do whatever you want. Okay? First of all, you have to identify your strengths and skills. If you don't identify those things, it will be difficult for you, right? So remember, you decide your destiny, right? No one is going to give you anything, or no one is going to give you opportunities. Trust me, in my life, no one gave me opportunities. I created for myself. And that is going to happen to each and every one of you guys. No one is going to give you and say that you do that, you do this, we will give you that. No, you have to create your opportunities, right? And you have to decide on your fate. Choice is yours, no one else's choice. Your destiny, you decide it, your fate, that's it. You can change your fate with prayers, right? So I'm going to end with that. And the summary I would say in this seminar, the summary is, first of all, have the confidence, right? You're telling yourself today that you're going to change. You're going to change. Take that decision first, right? Take that decision first. The decision comes first. The mindset comes first. That switch comes first, right? You, after this seminar, say to yourself, I'm going to decide, I'm going to change my life from today for the betterment of me and for the society, right? And the second thing, you have to identify your strengths and weaknesses. What were you good at, right? I'll come back to that, okay? Then third one, right? Have the confidence and have the courage, right? Have the confidence and have the courage, and make a solid plan. Make a solid plan. If you don't plan, you plan to fail, right? So you have to plan, right? What is the first thing? You decide. Second thing, you identify your strengths and weaknesses. Third thing, have the confidence and the courage. Fourth thing, have the trust in God. He will not let you down. Have the trust in God, right? Have the trust in God. He will not let you down. And do your best. I said your hard work, consistency, commitment, right? All these three things should be there when whatever you're doing in life, right? And basically, while you're doing these things, while whatever you want to achieve in life, always not to forget the mental happiness, mind. So mental happiness in mind and soul, your body and the society, and always be happy. Try to be happy, right? Even if something goes wrong, quickly come out of that situation. Now I told you how to come out of it, right? Good, right? Hope I did some justice to whatever time you all gave me. So we can have the question and answer session. The